We're back in the Lake District. We're attempting to get to the biggest survival shelter there is over here. It's a wet bank holiday, so we're expecting it to be quite busy. Let's find out. Currently in this valley.
Can't wait for a cup of tea and a fire.
We've got firewood, of course.
We left our vehicles in Staggill, setting off along Gatescarth Path, winding through the valley and up a steep incline on a rocky 4x4 track.
After climbing about 400 meters, we had to leave the nice, clear path behind and venture off into waterlogged fields. Our first obstacle, a stream crossing, but luckily there were some shallow stepping stones.
Pressure's on.
We followed the faint trail as best as we could, but with the heavy rain and long grass, it wasn't easy.
There we go.
On this trip, we were joined by Malik's sister and her partner. Both of them experienced a few wild camps before, but this would be their first night in a survival shelter.
We tried to keep our feet dry for as long as possible, but the trail had other plans.
Whoa!
Eventually, we spotted the large cottage tucked away behind the only trees in the landscape, the faint smell of burning wood drifting through the misty air.
For tonight's meal, we had camp pizzas, cooked right on the fire stove. It's a quick and easy meal, and you can customise it however you like. We used 4 Greek-style flatbreads for the base, heating them in the pan with a bit of butter to get them hot and crispy. Then we added some turkey chorizo, mozzarella and cheddar, letting it all melt together in the pan.
After that, we spread some tomato puree onto the flatbread and slapped it right on top of the melted cheese. The trick is to hold the bread with one hand and flip the pan upside down with the other, catching everything all in one go. We decided to roll them up into wraps and shared each one as it came off the stove, way quicker than waiting for each separate pizza to cook. Just try not to drop your chorizo on the floor like I may or may not have done 3 times.
No, for sake.
I, on the other hand, like to do mine a little bit differently, putting the cheese and chorizo directly on top of the flatbread. Both methods work, but my way is definitely better. Only if you do have a second pan to cover the pizza, trapping the heat and helping the cheese melt properly. After dinner, we dried out all our wet clothes and trail runners by the fire. Not that it really mattered, they were going to get soaked again on the hike back anyway. We ended up having an early night, and in the morning we packed up quickly, since we were sleeping in the main room. Sadly, we didn't get any footage of our setup.
We made ourselves breakfast, eggs, beans and turkey bacon before getting ready for the wet hike back. When we first arrived at Leboeuf, there were 2 guys already sat around the fire. They'd just put their last bit of wood on. We had a quick chat. They had an 11-kilometre hike south to Leboeuf and planned to sleep at a popular lake secret beach the following night. They soon finished their beers, and as their fire started dying down, they kept dropping hints for us to throw our wood on, even though there was still well over an hour until sunset. We were hoping to make our wood last long into the night.
This is where we slept, just on the floor here.
Not long after, they disappeared into their rooms. They were with another guy who originally planned to sleep in this small side room, but after we arrived, he changed his mind and set up his tent outside instead.
In the morning, those 3 left early. That's when we realised there were actually 2 more people staying there. They only emerged from their room after the others had gone. We assumed that they'd been part of the repair team, as they left their stuff in their room and we never saw them afterwards. There were 2 other guys also, but we only really saw them when they stepped out of their room for a quick smoke and then they tucked themselves away again. There were some people from the NBA doing repairs on the buffet, and they were staying in a private section.
When we first arrived, I actually got a quick glimpse inside. I thought it was the main entrance until someone pointed me to the right door. It looked really warm and cozy in there, with bunk beds and sofas. Honestly, we didn't mind. We fell asleep right under our fire and it was perfectly toasty.
We soon headed off. We wanted our travel companions to experience the famous gingerbread fresh. They had originally planned to camp with us on the second night, but after getting soaked and having no dry clothes left, they decided to head home instead. Which, in hindsight, was probably a good thing, because where we ended up camping, there wasn't enough flat ground for a second tent for at least 100 meters.
On the hike up, we didn't fully appreciate the beauty of the trail. The miserable rain kind of stole the show. But on the way back down, we took a nice, comfortable stroll admiring the waterfalls running down the mountains beside us.
All right, so that was our night in the Bothy. It was a lot bigger than expected. There
Yeah.
was,
Biggest Bothy I think we've been to.
yeah, a couple private rooms.
Mm.
I'm assuming would have been locked, but there's a couple, actually, I don't know, maybe 3-4 people from the NBA who were fixing it up in the morning. They had a cement mixer going. But yeah, it was a all right night. Everyone went to sleep by like 7, so it was just us 4 chilling in like the main fire room, the living room for the night. Had some good food.
There was a spare room going, but it was way too small to fit all of us in because we both had double pads.
Yeah,
So we just stuck to the living room, and it was really nice because we had a fire until we fell asleep.
exactly. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Join us on the next video where we will be wild camping somewhere in the lakes.